retirement of Governor Hope Uzodinma as Commissioner in Imo State. Well, this is Plus Politics. I'm Mary Ann Okon. At least 101 people were killed by non-state actors across Nigeria last week, the highest figure in over 8 weeks. A review of the figure shows an increase in about 200. Now, out of 101 persons, a traditional ruler was killed in Kaduna State, while 45 farmers were killed and many others injured in Nasarawa. Also, at least 38 persons were killed in an attack by bandits in Kaduna State. At least one incident was recorded in each of the 3 geopolitical zones in the north, while none was recorded in zones in the south. The incidents were sourced mainly from news reports. Thus, unreported cases are not actually included. Well, joining us to discuss this is Bala Zaka. He is a political analyst and, of course, a security analyst. We also are being joined by Kwanum Terence, a security affairs analyst. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. I'm going to start with you, of course, Mr. Zaka, with this issue of body was dumped going on in the country in terms of insecurity. Mr. Zaka, can you hear me? Oh, I think we lost him. We lost that connection. We're quickly going to get him back so we can continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to Space and Style, a property show designed to connect various stakeholders across the property value chain. We can also provide realistic solutions and deepen your knowledge about the interesting world of real estate. We shall showcase architectural design, interior design trends, lifestyle and real-time property news updates, and the right way to navigate through property development and investment. Join me every week on this channel as I take you through an exciting...
Mr. Zaka, if you can hear me, I was asking, I was first and foremost laying the foundation.
Well, when you speak about insecurity today, you're talking about an index that can destroy any country. It will destroy the country politically. It will destroy the country economically. It can destroy the country across demographies. They are demographic. They are even sectarian. So it depends on which aspect you look at it. If you look at it from an economic aspect, you will know why there is serious insecurity, because the economy is terribly bad. When you look at it from a political point of view, you can analyze it and see why the economy is in bad shape. Because there is no understanding or congruency from our leaders on how to lead us. When you look at it from even a demographic point of view, you will see it. We have so many youth that are jobless point of view. You will also see the same thing. Because today there is no religious harmony. There is disagreement across religious divides. And you see religious leaders accusing themselves. There is no trust. So it actually depends on which of these variables you analyze. But I'm not surprised that Nigeria has become a melancholy country and a laughingstock, not only within the continent of Africa, but across the global community.
So it begs the question. I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from, because you know the saying that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. But we have had successive governments, and it's not just, I mean, as much as the Buhari administration is the government in power right now, and, you know, the buck stops with them. We've had successive governments who have come with ideas and promises on how to equip our young people, you know, thin the line of unemployment and underemployment. But we've not seen all of those promises being fulfilled. And this is 2021. We're almost at the end of 2021, getting ready to go into a new year. And we're still dealing with these issues of insecurity. I remember when I spoke to the Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, he pointed to things that you have mentioned as some of the major issues that have allowed these young men to take up arms. But this is a choice that these people have made. What is government's duty to make sure that these people don't continuously replicate themselves? Because we're still having to deal with these issues on the one hand. And of course, the ugly truth, which is we have a high level of you know, unemployment and underemployment, is also on the other hand. Does government not have its work cut out for it?
As far as I'm concerned, it is only the government and our political and economic leaders that will explain why we handed over the economic, political, and social destiny of our country into their hands, and they allow things to decay to the level it has. Those people in political governance are those that call the shots. And if they are there and we entrusted our economic, political, and social destiny into their hands and things have decayed to this extent, they are the only people that can explain. Because by the time we sit this, on the side fences and offense and try saying what we feel are the reasons, they may think we are disloyal citizens. While in real sense, they are those who decided to paddle the ship or the rudder of the country towards the wrong direction. Because if you look at it, the political models they are using are wrong.
Here, I remember earlier this year, there was a lot of push and shove. People were asking that the president change his security chiefs. It took forever, but that happened. We saw that, and if it hasn't, what are the changes that need to be done for this to happen? Is there a clear-cut, you know, one-size-fits-all strategy to deal with this issue, knowing also mainly that this is not necessarily a regular warfare, it's a guerrilla warfare of sorts?
As far as I'm concerned, all the strategies have failed. If you look at it, the economic strategies have failed. The social strategies have failed. Even the religious strategies have failed. And anybody who said those strategies have not failed should come out and give us his or her reasons. I mean, we have reached a stage today in the country where virtually everything we are being told gets contradicted. We are made to understand that if we pass the petroleum industry bill into law, there will be investors. Are investors coming? The truth is they are not coming. We are told that we should also key into global warming concept.
They're also
no,
facing 100%
it is another lack of economic
charges.
Reasoning. I'm telling you this because I'm a practitioner in the industry.
Okay.
I'm a public affairs analyst, but I'm an experienced petroleum engineer with more than 30 years experience.
Okay.
So I know what I'm talking about. When they promised you that they were going to give you modular refineries to give you petrol, did you see the petrol? You were even fooled that modular refineries produce petrol. Meanwhile, in recent, they don't produce petrol because they are not equipped with catalytic cracking units. I don't want to start itemizing the lies because I will be making, nonsense of my own country.
On its own. I see where you're coming from, but that's a whole different conversation on its own.
Come back?
Yeah, I'm saying that that's a whole different conversation on its own. Of course, the petroleum.
You're totally right. So let's go back to still the insecurity. I mean, the real insecurity also had to do with lack of planning by our leaders. Because when you look at it, just imagine the number of youth that are unemployed. Look at the illiterate community and the percentage in years or late to survive. Multiply that and imagine the millions of ridges of harvest that Nigeria has lost. And there is nothing happening in the cities. The cities are completely choked, with all kinds of ills. So what do you expect? The natural reaction is negativities and hostilities that will not be in the interest of the country.
Now, like I said, we're almost wrapping up the year 2021. And in line with the strategic thinking, I beg your pardon, let's talk about information gathering, which is very important when it comes to dealing with anything. Let's not also forget that the security outfits we only follow the information that security outfits give us, knowing that the media in this country is not as equipped as they should be to be able to delve into those areas that are unsafe. So how do we put all of these together and get it right to be able to deal with this insecurity as we go into 2022?
The answer is very simple. Let our leaders accept that they have been on the wrong economic trajectory, they have been on the wrong political trajectory, and they have been on the wrong. Nobody will reason with you to lead the country out of whatever malaise, or the family out of whatever malaise she found herself in. So in our own case, the things are very simple. Certain things are not going right.
Is it really simple, especially considering the body language of the government at the helm of affairs? Is it very easy for the average Nigerian politician to say, well, I have failed, I need to re-strategize, or well, we probably went about this the wrong way? There is no precedence, is there? So what's the thing that makes you, or the assurance that these people will actually own up to it if we must ever get beyond this phase?
No. When you own up, then people come together and cooperate with you. And that was why when I started, I said politically our leaders are not cooperating.
I'm sorry, should we be using the word when or if? Because again, I try to remind you, it's never happened. Will it ever happen? Looking at the body language, again I say, of the government that is in power. They have been saying that they've done their best, and maybe this seems to be a pat on the back for them because they seem to think that they're doing well or they're doing good so far. So will there ever be, if there be, a time when they decide to own up? How soon do you see that happening? With a few months into the campaign season, and then election year is just around the corner.
Well, in the areas of doing fine, we have heard that they have ordered for more equipment. We have recently heard that they have, improved the remuneration of the police. Maybe there are other things that they have done that I'm not probably aware. That's to be fair to them. So if there is a need for them to encourage our security forces, they should do that. If there are other ways of encouraging our youth so that we don't continue to experience brain drain, let them do that. But it is on record that many of our political leaders send their children abroad. Many of our political leaders do not patronize our hospitals. Many of our political leaders do not spend their holidays here. Many of our political leaders have high tax for foreign goods. So if some of these concerns, whether they are rumors, if they feel certain things are not right, we shall criticize them, probably mildly, but in national interest. But keeping quiet will not be in their interest or in our interest or in the overall interest of the country.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, you keep talking about our political leaders. Yes, they're saddled with the responsibility of making sure that we're safe and we're protected. But we also do have leaders of thought. We have traditional leaders. We have religious leaders. These people have rules. They might not necessarily be the ones who have the pen to paper to make the laws or,
As far as I'm concerned, our traditional leaders have done their best. They have calmed nerves. They have calmed the youth. They have calmed warring factions and kept promising them that government was going to come to their aid or government was going to come to the rescue. And it got to a point where warring communities don't believe our leaders, traditional leaders again. Youth don't believe them again. farmers don't believe them again. And that was why you saw how youth, warring factions, and farmers now go to challenge our traditional rulers or leaders. Before now, after God, the next is traditional leaders, because we respected our culture before even the coming of Islam. Two among them that may have romance with the adulterated political we inherited from our parents in those days. Traditional leaders or rulers were small gods then. In fact, after they also came and talked to their subjects, thinking the political leaders were honest.
Well, finally, I want to say thank you. Bala Zaka is a political analyst and is also okay. All right, thank you very much. Well, thank you all for staying with us. Coming up on Plus Politics, Zamfara State.
Age 59 years. Until her passing, she was Director, Inspectorate, National Headquarters, State Security Service. Burial arrangements are: funeral service, Tuesday, 28 December 2021, time 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Temple of God Parish, 12 Lai Yusuf Crescent off Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1.
The region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
I miss them.
Well, they should be on their way by now.
Will it feel like it used to? With everyone so busy these days.
It will be fine.
Suddenly, feels like I'm gonna fall. I can see all of my dreams so perfectly.
Look at line up! Single file!
Love's not a dream at all. Somebody.
Grandpa, what was Grandma like?
She always found ways to bring us all together. It took me a while to discover how she does it.
Devon King's taste that brings us all together. Whether you like it or not, the dryness and dust is coming. And this time, it might not give up that easily. But do the people have the power to shake it off?
Well, of course they do, and you do too. Kick dry skin to the curb and get smooth, intensely nourished skin with Nivea's deep moisture lotions and lip balms. Follow the story online, #DoneWithDryness.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And that's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games. Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. Nimasa This Week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. statutorily mandated to ensure that there's regulation and promotion of matters affecting our waters. NIMASA bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on this channel.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@PlusTvAfrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
I had no desire to study law, none whatsoever. I was more inclined to fine arts. My only ambition, I would say, was to become the chief prosecutor. For me, politicians are a bit too playful. That's what I believe. And since '99, we've seen how much investment in social events, in launching some streets that you just started, and the whole day will be spent on this occasion. British people are generally law-abiding. We are not law-abiding. So another problem of administration is that people don't follow the rules.
Timeless Conversations, airing every Sunday at 8:30 p.m.
It's still Plus Politics. Now, the Zamfara State Commissioner for Women and Children, Rabi Ibrahim Shinkafi, has confirmed that she has resigned from her position as Commissioner and member of the Zamfara State Executive Council. This was contained in a statement copied from her face.
Thank you for having me.
So it's interesting for us to see this turn of events, you know, from Zamfara to Imo State. This is something that you rarely see. You probably see one or two of these kinds of things in Lagos State, or let's say Cross River State, where you have people with different surnames in government. But this is hardly ever seen in other parts, especially in Imo State. So my first question is, what exactly is going on in Imo State?
Okay, a lot is going on in Imo State. Aside from the security situation, which I think the security agencies are doing a lot in order to restore normalcy. Regarding to the commissionership position and as relates to Zamfara State, few days ago, we read from the papers that a commissioner in Zamfara State resigned to take up a commissionership position in Imo State. That's the much we know about that. But if I'm asked to speak on that as to whether or not what happened or what is happening is good, I will say to me, it's good in many ways. I have always said that to make or to unify Nigeria, it must be an action that concertedly the nation or the people agree to do it. It's not something that one person wakes up in the morning and now takes a decision to do that. I've always advocated that we must, in all the various states, have people give people a sense of belonging. If some, for goodness sake, I'm not saying that it relates to this, but for goodness sake, if somebody has resided in a place for even 5 or more years, I think the person should qualify to get whatever thing.
But you have the Muslim community, you have the I think it's called the Sadiqing in those areas, in every state actually. So the governor couldn't find someone within that state, a woman or a man, to fill that position. He had to go all the way to Zamfara State to bring somebody, in your words, to try to unify Nigeria. How unifying is that, especially for the people who reside in that state? And Imo people who might not necessarily...
I would say, looking at it from the point of view of somebody who has resided in Imo State for many years and is qualified to hold such position and is not given opportunity to hold such position, I will say that in that aspect, it is not the right thing to do. But again, they do say that it's never late, and that the Igbo people will say that when a man wakes up in the morning and wakes up, it doesn't matter the time of the day, that is the person's morning. I will applaud it only to the extent that at least the action seems to unify Nigeria. There are a few things you can use. Number one is this appointment. Allowing people to have, if somebody is qualified and the person has resided in that place or has something to do with the state, you can appoint the person to serve. All that it takes is just service. Then another thing is that concertedly, we must allow marriages across the states, across the tribal groups, so that at least by so doing, if there is a plan or a master plan towards unifying Nigeria, such master plan must have marriages enshrined in it, so that we can have marriages across board. Because evidence or available research has shown that when you have people, for instance, if you have Igbo people littered or living in Zamfara State, if the Igbos from Imo State or from any of the states wants to attack northerners or people that from Zamfara that are living in Imo State, they will think twice, because again, there are Imo States in that place. That corroborates with the saying that he who lives in a glass house does not need to throw stones, because, of course, when the other person decides to retaliate, your house is built with glasses. And
I want to come in there, because as much as all of this seems really interesting and very, enlightening to some extent, are you trying to tell me, again, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here for the people of Imo State, that there was no person with, allegedly, the office of the First Lady, her ministry and the office of the First Lady? This is her reason for living, and this is her country, rather her state, where she speaks the same language with the people. Now she is, and I'm not in any way trying to bring any form of sectionalism into this conversation, but I'm saying, if this is the grounds for which she left her state, what is to say that she would have a great working relationship within the Imo State government, and how does this rub off on the people of the state? The governor does have his right to, say that this is who I want to work with or not. But what about the interest of the average Imo person?
Okay, first, let us understand it from the point of law. The law allows only the governor to select whoever that will serve in the executive council. The law did not in any shape or form allows for any appointment in the executive council people are having regarding to giving opportunity to those that reside in the state. I think that one may just be looking at it from the moral point of view, or from the view that there are people living in the state that may have contributed immensely to the state, that those people should be given opportunity. But again, the Constitution did not give anybody, did not extend to anybody other than the governor the power and the right to select who works with him. And at the end of the day, too, if the governor decides to appoint somebody who may not work in tandem with his blueprint or with the policies or the aims of that administration, if anything happens, the whole Nigerians or the state, the citizens of that state will hold government, that particular administration accountable. They will not hold any other person. So if the governor decides to import or to appoint somebody who has never resided in that particular state as a commissioner, I will say in my different ethnic groups, so that we can gradually, persistently, and concertedly try to unify the nation. The reason why at every time, every little altercation or every little disagreement happens, everybody rushes back to his ethnic cocoon is because we have not made concerted effort to unify Nigeria. I will say to those that reside in Imo State or that have resided in Imo State and have qualification to be appointed as a commission in Imo State, I will tell them to take a cheap pill. Maybe as this, since the governor has started this, I believe that maybe if it continues, subsequent government will come. If not this, subsequent government will come, and that government will try as much as possible to give a sense of belonging to those in the state. But looking at it from the point of law, the governor, whether in Lagos State or in like in Lagos State, that has become a pattern in Lagos State, and we can see a output from Lagos State. Lagos State is not only the center of excellence in terms of nomenclature, it is a center of excellence in terms of the activities that they are doing, whether it's in law, whether it's in ensuring that the law works and all that. Lagos State is really number one. I cannot mention any other state that is catching up with them other than strolling from afar. Okay. So if
I just want to quickly ask. If the tables were turned, if the tables were turned, and this was Bello Matawale's choice to make, do you think that this would have happened to an Imo person or anybody from any other part of the country if the tables were turned? Secondly, now that it's happened and now that it's made news and she's given her reasons why she left, what form of unification or change do you think that this will bring about in Imo State? Let's not forget, Imo State has its own problems. A king was kidnapped coming to Imo State as a member of the Executive Council.
That is already residing, that has never resided in Zamfara State. I may not be able to say that, but to me, I think that the lesson that the governor of Zamfara State and of course other governors should learn is the lesson to ensure, because each time the governors will point accusing fingers to the people or to citizens that they are the ones dividing Nigeria, dividing the nation. I want to say that if you look at it critically, you will find out that it may not be the people. It may be government at all levels. Government have not made concerted effort, have not persistently tried to ensure a reflection of Nigeria in the cabinet of all the state executive council. So let's hope that this will be a lesson to some of the governors. And again, if the commissioner, I don't know the full name, but if the new commissioner so appointed in Imo State, if she does well, that will further cement or will further show that that to perform creditably well as a member of the Executive Council does not require one to come from that state. And evidence abound. Most of the projects in some of the states that were carried out by the military administrators that are not from that particular state, will always stand tall to show that it doesn't matter where the person comes from.
But that's different. The military administrators were like governors. Their mandate was to make sure, of course, it was within their purview to do all of those things. It was their job. This is what a military administrator is. He's not a commissioner. He's not an appointee. He is the governor at the time of that state. So yes, it's his duty to make sure that he develops the state within the tenure that he has.
Mandate by the people to develop the state. And the governor feels strongly that there are some persons that are not from that state that can assist in ensuring that the development for which the mandate was extended to him happens. I do not think that is a wrong thing. But like I said, it's not an end. It's not an end yet. It will only be an end and a beautiful thing if the commissioner that is appointed goes to Imo State and does excellently well in whatever capacity or portfolio that the governor may assign to her. That will not be good. But if she goes there and does a wishy-washy thing and did not perform well, then the government did not do well. So no matter how we look at it, I do not want to be petty. I don't want to look at whether or not the person has the experience or whatever thing. I want to look at it from the positive angle. Number one, it will engender unity. It will show that...
once again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, thank you all for staying with us. Nigerians tell us whether they believe the government is serious about fighting insecurity. And that is what I leave you with tonight on Plus Politics. I am Mary Anna Cohn. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening.
To do and know what they're supposed to do, but it's like they are playing game with themselves inside on that place. If not, what is there? If Nigerian military can go to outside and then go for a peacemaker and they'll make sure they capture everything, how much more is this country here?
With the participation of the government about it, I don't really think they are even ready to solve this security problem, because they are focusing on other things. There are a lot of things they are diverting their attention to, and they never think this security issue is so important to what they can stand on. See, they focus on only their pocket, what they benefit from, what they can get something from, you understand? So they are not really working on the security of the country. Because how can you say not all bandits are criminals? Somebody is saying that. And you are going to IPO and calling them they are the criminals disturbing the country. Why Boko Haram have been there for years, killing till present, and you could not see anything about that?
The government are playing games. As you can see, insecurity everywhere, people dying. People dying, even in streets. There's no security, even in so-called streets. Before 10 o'clock, everywhere is, dark. There's no street lights. Street lights, assuming there is street light, at least we will be saying, okay, somebody that is coming to attack us, we'll be seeing him or her. But this time around, we are not seeing anybody. Everywhere is totally dark. And we are now talking about insecurity. Definitely, the government are playing games.